Alright, and next up we are ready for Best Actress, and this is a category which, it just speaks for itself. It's obviously been owned in terms of nominations by one of the nominees here, Meryl Streep, and it's a category that I'm sure you greatly appreciate as well, being a big fan of a lot of the older films and whatnot. Yes. So, and obviously a lot of the screen legends, we think of Katharine Hepburn and that. We think
4 Oscars.
Yes,
4.
unbelievable.
She won, and she only made an appearance on the Oscars once, and that wasn't even to accept one of her own. That was to give something to someone else.
Let me tell you, people, that will never ever happen again. 4 Oscars, no, forget it. It's not never going to happen.
Yeah.
But okay, let's get to the nominees right here. Sandra Bullock in The Blind Side, Helen Mirren in The Last Station, Carey Mulligan in An Education, Gabby Sidibe in Precious, Meryl Streep in Julie and Julia. Kaylee, can I have the envelope? Yes. Thank you. All right, your pick is Meryl Streep in Julie and Julia.
Yes, I just love her in this film. I rented it actually again a couple weeks ago. I hadn't seen it since the summer when it was in theaters. And I was laughing out loud because she was so funny, and it was much better the second time around that I had seen it.
Right.
And I watched it with my mom, so maybe these are more sentimental, but I just thought she nailed this role, and she was having so much fun doing it, and that's what made me fall in love with her, is you could see just her excitement and enjoyment of just performing and just being in this role, and she's doing it with old friends, Stanley Tucci, and, well, she wasn't with Amy Adams, but, there is the same kind of thing. They're basically acting opposite each other, even though they're not on screen, but she's just having so much fun, and I think at this point in her career, she's doing films like that, Mamma Mia, The Devil Wears Prada even, she's just having fun doing them, and I just love that about her. And obviously Sandra Bullock is the heavy favorite, but I think Meryl Streep just blew everybody out of the water with this performance.
Well, before I can give you my envelope, something that also film critic Richard Roper said, he can picture 9 or 10 other people playing Sandra Bullock's character.
Yes.
Meryl Streep, maybe 30 years ago, he's going to nail that right out of the park without even batting an eyelash.
Yeah.
But could we see somebody like Sandra Bullock or Kate Hudson or whoever play Julia Child? I don't think so.
Exactly. There was nothing special about Sandra Bullock's performance. She was good, but she wasn't like amazing, and the Oscars are about amazing, I feel. So.
Shauna, if you're watching, those are her words, not mine. Okay. Here you go, my pick for Best Actress.
Gabby Sidibe in Precious.
Yes, you see, now I know we were talking about this before we started filming. I know you didn't exactly see this character translate very well on screen to you, but for me, this character in this movie left me utterly speechless. When I was to write a review for this show, I didn't know what to say. I was stuck for 3 days trying to analyze this film, and normally it does not. I can go home and analyze any film within 15-20 minutes. This I could not do. Not since Blood Diamond has a film left me so speechless, and a character made me feel so tragic on screen in I don't know how many years. This was a movie that really, and this performance by her, you look at her on screen, she's like any girl, I guess you could say, that size would be in that circumstance, right? She's overweight, she's pregnant to boot in horrible circumstances that I don't even like talking about, but yet she knows who she is. And yet she's trying to do the best she can with that, but she doesn't know what the best is necessarily. And she needs a little help along the way. And another thing I gotta say about this movie too is that a lot of people were rolling their eyes at the inclusion of people like Lenny Kravitz and Mariah Carey. They did okay. I mean, I'm not saying they were fantastic. I actually really like Mariah Carey in her small role, but Lenny Kravitz was he did fine enough. I mean, I don't see him starring in any movie directed by Jason Reitman anytime soon, but that's just how it is. But this performance, though, it really broke my heart, and I can't remember the last time a performance has truly done that. And maybe, it's a weird comparison to make, 'cause it's a completely different film, and I don't want anybody to misinterpret me. Ellen Page and Juno, that one scene where she's breaking down in the van, she's crying because she thinks everything's gone downhill for her. I know, I want to, cry, I want to, my heart was breaking, but in this entire film, and that was just one scene, this entire film, my heart was breaking for this character, and even when the glimmer of hope was at the end, we get sidetracked with something else, and then, at the same time, she, in a way, not in a complete way, she's not completely okay, but she triumphs in her own personal way, and that's what I love about this character. I guess that's the best you can hope for in that situation. It could have been a completely wrapped up ending, but
Yeah.
as for Meryl Streep, she was really good here. I didn't like the movie when I first saw it, but as I watched it, I still didn't like the movie, but I could appreciate her performance a little more, which is more than I said in my initial review. She was wonderful in that film. Amy Adams really didn't do much for me in the film, but
the one shining light. Well, Meryl Streep and Stanley Tucci were both phenomenal, and Julie and Julia, and that's really what brought the film along. Yeah, the film itself is just kind of okay, but.
You know, and Sandra Bullock is one of the main reasons why I did recommend The Blind Side. She was wonderful. It was her best performance probably since Crash, and one of the best performances of her career, period.
Yeah.
So I can see why she's getting all this attention, and I think her nomination is deserved, but at the same time, I cannot see her beating some of these
I really
great talents.
don't want her to win, to be honest.
And even Helen Mirren in The Last Station really didn't do much for me in that film either. I thought that more belonged to Christopher Plummer personally. So.
I liked Helen Mirren.
She was fantastic, but that's Helen Mirren. I mean, it's almost impossible for her to script these days.
This category was a little. It was okay. I mean, there wasn't really any incredible performances, unlike last year. But I don't know.
Well,
I thought Gabby's performance was okay, but unlike you, I didn't really feel a huge connection to her.
Okay.
But like I was sitting there, kind of. Okay, how long is this going to go on for? Not because I don't have any, feeling, because obviously it's a terrible situation and I don't think anybody should ever be in that situation. Unfortunately, the reality is people are. But I wasn't sitting there crying through the whole thing. I wasn't sitting there with my heart breaking. It was more like, wow, this really sucks, and I don't want to watch it.
Fair enough. So, for some people, I can see why they respond that way to a movie like this. It's not
exactly.
It's not.
So I didn't really feel that she was that great, but oh well, that's okay.
That's what this show's for.